Hello.
Wow. What an intro. Fantastic.
As it's Halloween.
Yes.
I go for a Halloween theme. It's kind of like, let's do some. Oh, hang on. It sounds like my bathroom. Probably the most iconic laughs in history, isn't it?
It's great. Yeah, I love that one, mate.
Right, shush, Vincent. Anyway. Oh.
It's time to go to sleep.
Oh, great. And now our guest, Vincent Price.
It's nearly Halloween. I love Halloween. It's one of my favorite things. I've got my Frankenstein
nice
t-shirt, and
Boris Karloff.
I've been watching horror films all day because I just love them. So it's it's been a really good day for me, just watching loads of horror films. So we wasn't planning on coming on live today. It's just one of those things where we're testing something out. We want to see if it works. So we thought, well, come on, we'll do a little while and talk about stuff, and we'll see what happens. Before we start, it's important to mention next Sunday, a week from today. Is that right?
Yeah.
We've got our gig in the Hope and Anchor in Islington, the Unknown Towns gig. So if you've not got your tickets yet, you can get your tickets from this link here.
That's right. We got tickets. And if you can't do the link, if it's a little bit too much for you, just search Unknown Sounds. It'll be right there.
Excellent. And we've got some little videos of the bands that were on the show next week because Pete went to see some last night. So we're going to play a bit of those in a while. Anyway, so if you want your tickets, it's always that way, isn't it?
That way.
It's mirrored, Robbie. It's mirrored. It's that side. Okay, so so the tickets are just there if you want to get them. Screenshot this and do your camera phone thing, and you should be able to find them as well. Right, let's start as per usual, as is tradition. Music. Have you listened to some music this week? What have you been listening to? Yeah.
No, I hate music. No, I have. You know what? I was in Brighton yesterday, as Rob said. I was seeing a couple of bands that are playing at the show next week, and I went to Brighton to see them in the Prince Albert. And while I was there, I looked into a couple of record shops, and I got some great deals. Man, very excited about this. I got this one I had way back in the day. Laurie Anderson.
Wow. Has that got Superman on it?
No, this is Mr. Heartbreak. I love this album.
Okay.
It's the one with who's the author that did what's his name, mate? I can't remember his name, but a fantastic guy. He wrote he wrote a book that Steely Dan took their name from.
Oh, is it The Naked Lunch?
Yeah, who wrote that?
I'm thinking David Cronenberg, but he made the film, didn't he? If you know it is, just let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know because he's on this and he does something. He's got a great voice. It's fantastic. I love this album. Don't worry, mate. It's okay. It doesn't matter.
Someone comment and tell me what it is because it's going to kill me. So whatever you're watching on, just hit us up in the comments and it will pop up and we'll be able to find out. Thanks. It's not T.S. Eliot, is it? No, that's
it's like I am actually looking it up right now.
No, that's all right. Don't tell me. I want to work it out.
Okay, I know who it is now. I know who it is. Anyway, it's a fantastic album. And in 1984, when it came out, I actually saw Laurie Anderson do this album live.
Wow.
It was amazing. You know, she had the electric violin.
Yep.
You know, she's a performing artist. She isn't just a musician.
Right.
And years later, of course, she became the wife of one of my heroes, Lou Reed.
Yeah.
You know, and she was with him till he died, which was great. But the weirdest thing is I was living in New York at the time and I was in a bookstore. I was working in a bookstore and Laurie came in.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm on the ground. I'm putting all these books in and it's really frustrating. It's people talking to me and, you know, all that stuff. She comes over and she's just like your aunt that, you know, has no clue. Excuse me, young man, do you have this book? It was great. So I took her to the book and I said, yeah.
Oh,
I do. I said, Laurie, huh?
Sorry, you froze for a second. Carry on.
Oh, sorry. I said, by the way, Laurie Anderson, I saw you in Oregon in 1984. And she said to me, young man, I have no idea if I was in Oregon in that year. But I know she was. I still have the ticket. It was absolutely fantastic. And that just shows that, her fleetingness of life is just, she lives in the moment, which I love.
Yeah.
And
Sorry, go on.
this album is just exactly like that. It's just, you listen to it, it's just fantastic, mate. It's really great.
So what sort of album is it? Because obviously you've got Oh Superman, which is sort of electronic looping. What is that, like an acoustic album? Has it got drums, guitars, bass, all that sort of stuff?
No, there's a lot of electronic on it. If you don't know it, it's hard to explain. Sharky's Day, Gravity's Angel,
Mhm.
Sharky's Night, and Excellent Birds. Excellent Birds, I think Peter Gabriel is on.
Right. Oh, now we're talking.
Yeah, it's just great. She was like I said, she was a performing artist, and she really knew how to capture the audience. She was amazing. I love her, and I didn't know her until I went out to Oregon and listened. She's great.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
So because it's Halloween and I love Halloween more than Christmas, that is true. I do love it. I know. I went totally themed. So I've got Has to Be Done, Thriller. Probably just amazing sound production. Bruce Sweden's production on this, absolutely incredible. Everyone's gold on it. Like, Want to Be Starting Something, Girlie's Mind, Thriller, Beat It, Billie Jean, Human Nature, PYT. I think there's only two, The Lady of My Life and Be My Baby, that didn't come out.
Yeah.
Out of what you got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tracks. 7 were singles, and then also the most groundbreaking video of all time. That was, which is that used to scare me, that video, when I was a kid, for Thriller, but not the transformation thing. The bit at the end with the eyes. He turns around and he's got those bright yellow eyes. That's the bit. And the same thing used to scare me with Bonnie Tyler. The Total Eclipse of the Heart video, because she had those guys with the blue eyes. It's eyes that gets me every time.
Wow.
I think it's because I got 4 of them. It throws me out. But so it's I've been listening to a bit of this because it's just absolutely fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do you stand it? Is it bad, or is it Thriller that's the peak of Jackson for you? What would you say?
I think it's Thriller.
Yeah,
I think it's totally Thriller. It was amazing. I never gave him a lot of credence. I liked, of course, I liked the Jackson 5. They were fantastic. But this is a whole different creature. I think this is where he said, "I'm me," and that's that's it. And he just took off from there.
Fantastic. Yeah, again, in the comments, let us know if you like this album, if you don't like this album, if you like Laurie Anderson. If you don't like Laurie Anderson, hit us up if you want to hear it, and we can get a Spotify link as well. We can do that for you.
With the Thriller, though, did it really, there's a rumor about him doing the Thriller video.
Yeah.
And because of his religion, he was kicked out of the church or something like that. Do you know anything about that?
I heard about it. Yeah. So that sounds about right. Yeah. He would have been sort of told off for it. So, he's, he was. I think either that or he wasn't. I made it and he wasn't sure about it. It was one of the two. That was one of the things. Bonnie Tyler's Exorcist video. Hello, Glenn. Absolutely right. Yeah, it was like an Exorcist video. And although you imagine Bonnie Tyler smoking fags at the same time. She's got that
exactly. Yeah.
Energy just in one head, a special brew in the other. So lick lips to the eyes by your giving it.
Yeah.
No, that absolutely scared the crap out of me, that video, when I was a kid. It's the eyes. Anything with the eyes, I don't think I like. I'm fine now, but when I was a kid, it was absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. You've
like
matured since then.
Yeah. I've got taller by an inch. Yeah.
And that's why Michael Jackson doesn't like you anymore.
What?
Oh.
So anyway, have you listened to anything else, or has it just mainly been that album?
No, I you know what? Because of this gig, I've been doing a lot of research on independent music, and we've been doing a lot of that, and it's just amazing. It's just
again, tickets available. I got it right this time as well, up there. I did listen to another album, if I can indulge again, and then we'll talk about the gig in a second, if that's all right.
Okay.
Just because it's got monsters in the title, and it's an amazing album. Scary Monsters and Super Creeps by David Bowie. Okay. So Neil says he's watching on Instagram, but his comments won't come. Hello, Neil. Welcome. So David Bowie's Scary Monsters, Super Creeps album, absolutely incredible. Ashes to Ashes fashions on it. Oh, just Teenage Wildlife. It's just, I find this album more interesting than Low and things like that. I just think that's a more interesting album.
Wow.
I just think it's more experimental to the degree of reversing tape right at the start and things like that. You know, that there's a real sort of flow to it, and there's all sorts of stuff going on, and it's just a wonderful album. And Scary Monster Super Creeps is a good track. So I've been playing.
Yeah, I agree. It's got some really great tracks on it, but I think Low is a better album only because the listenability of it. It's amazing. It's the psychedelic. It's very, very psychedelic. I love Low. Low is one of my favorite Bowie albums.
Yeah.
And it's not because I had a weird night after eating some strange mushrooms and listening to the song. Can I say that? I'm not sure.
That's for the Patreon page. Like Neil says there, hello Neil, Bad was a better video just because of Wesley Snipes. Now, Wesley Snipes famously said that his hardest acting job was making Michael Jackson look tough.
Really?
Because in the video, he's typing having a knife fight, and he had to be scared of Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
So he's absolutely right. It's amazing. So
I just want to say to Neil, because I see him every once in a while and I do that. So
that's fair enough. So we're going to talk about the gig in a minute. We'll play some videos from that. Should we play our friend Serena's band?
Yeah, let's do that.
Bamboozle,
I love this band.
And Heebie Jeebie.
Somewhere, my eyes are tuned through dust and gloom and a rising atmosphere. Spines of cold ripple through my soul. Your presence leaves a bitter taste. Fear inches down my spine. Oh boy, I need a sign that this isn't meant to be my fate. Give me heebie-jeebies when you look at me. Your stare just makes me cold. Give me heebie-jeebies when you look at me. It chills me to my bones. Oh, give me the heebie-jeebies in my darkest dreams. It's a dangerous game you play. You gave me the heebie-jeebies and somehow it seems your rule I must obey. Your eyes peer through the atmosphere every time they fall on mine. Shadows chase across your face beyond the crowd that you hide behind. Dark eyes hold my gaze, I cannot turn away from this ancient voodoo curse. Imprisoned in your vice, you got me hypnotized, reaching deep into my soul. Give me heebie-jeebies when you look at me. Your stare just makes me cold. Give me the heebie-jeebies when you look at me. It chills me to my bones. Oh, give me the heebie-jeebies in your darkest dreams. It's a dangerous game you play. You give me the heebie-jeebies and somehow it seems your rule I must obey. Me. Your stare just makes me cold. Give me the heebie-jeebies when you look at me. It chills me to my bones. Oh, you give me the heebie-jeebies in my darkest dreams. It's a dangerous game you play. You give me the heebie-jeebies and somehow it seems your rule. Oh, your rule I must obey.
Fantastic there. So Serena, friend of the show. Oh, hang on. I can't hear you. You're muted. There you are.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry, you got muted for a second there. Yeah, Serena there and Bamboozle, friends of the show, bless them, with their Halloween themed track. That's very kind of them.
It's fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah, really cool.
I love the
obviously-
music. You know what? I have a little weird story about them. I
Okay.
work for I do marketing for a company, and I was in Kent,
Yeah.
and I was doing a country show, and I heard this song. And I was like, wow, this is a great sound. And I walked up to it and I videoed it and I listened to it. It was fantastic. I loved it. 2 years later, this band, Serena and Bamboozle, sent me in that song. And I've been playing them ever since.
Nice.
Amazing.
So we've had a few more comments while that was playing as well. So Neil says you're putting your accent on. I take it that's you rather than me, Pete.
Put my accent on. What are you talking about, Neil?
You being from the West End.
You talking about me?
Glenn says Michael was threatened with excommunication at the phrase father said. That's right. Thanks, G. I knew there was something weird like that. His dad sort of had a bit on that. And yeah, Glenn says you don't see many upright basses these days. And it's true. It's absolutely true. And especially women players as well. I did an interview with a lady called Lena from Lena and the Lions, and she plays an upright bass as well. And you definitely don't get a lot of those.
No, and Serena's really good because she can actually stand on the bass and play it at the same time.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she does that stuff when she throws it around and she's jumping around and stuff like that. Don't forget, we've got the gig tickets up there available for next Sunday. So let's talk a bit about why people need to buy these tickets or need to donate to this thing. Yeah. PD, over to you.
Yeah. Well, you have to. Okay. What are we talking about next? No, it's a great cause. It's a great, you know what? I've been doing Unknown Sounds for a long time, and a lot of that time has been taken up by supporting musicians in Ukraine. You know,
Yeah.
Since the war, it's been absolutely horrendous. We've been getting donations in. We've been playing Ukrainian music, and now the next logical step is to do a live gig, and that's what we're doing. We've got four amazing bands that are giving their time and their talent to play this gig. All the proceeds go to Musicians Defend Ukraine. And you know what? Even if you don't give a damn about Ukraine, it's going to be a great night. £10, mate. £10 for 4 bands. It's great. It's going to be amazing, no matter what. And it's at Hope and Anchor, which is a legendary venue in London. Mate, you got to come. You got to come.
Well, I'll be there anyway. So, but yeah, so if you want to go get your tickets up there, I'm getting the hang of this now. I'm going to write on my hand, like QR code, so I know which hand to put. So it's up there, yeah, if you get your tickets. So you went and see some of the bands last night. Who did you see last night?
Yeah, well, there's 4 bands playing. There's Sunpin Leaves, there's Say Yes, Do Nothing, there's Plague UK, and Unorthodox. And I've seen 2 of them, Say Yes, Do Nothing, and Sunpin Leaves in the past, but I haven't seen Plague UK, and I haven't seen Unorthodox. I love their music. They're great, but I really wanted to make sure that they don't suck, So I went to the show, and you know what? They don't. It's amazing. Shall we play a little bit of Unorthodox?
Yeah, sure. So should we explain that I think you got this off your phone, didn't you? Is that right?
This is from last night. I just did a minute or so. It's just a shadow of what they are about, because when you're there, it's an immersive experience. It's amazing. These guys are great performers, great musicians. You're going to love it. So we'll only play a minute or so just to give you a little teaser.
Okay.
It's all so natural. See them now, everyone, and all the band are here. See them now, celebrate that summer building, never ending. Our love, brighter than the sun. Radiate over everyone. Hey! Baby, it goes to show, everything finds a way. In the valley, flow, let it flow, let it flow, let it flow away. It's flowing out forever. September's glory.
Wow, that's really noisy, isn't it?
Mate, you know what? They were so good. These guys have been around a very long time. and they
Yeah.
they know what the deal is. And I was talking to Brian, the lead singer, and Ricky, he's the drummer. They are really great guys, and
Yeah.
Brian is so into the independent music scene. It's absolutely amazing. I went there last night. I felt like I was part of the family,
Yeah, wicked. It's amazing. That sounded really good, even just on a little phone, because normally, like, you get a proper scratchy old sort of that. So it's amazing how phones have come on as well.
I know. It's really
I'm not,
great.
I've not video gig for a long time, evidently. So it was great. So that was in Brighton. You went to see that, was it?
I was in Brighton at the Albert, which is it's a landmark place. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. Upstairs, it's very cozy. It's very small. Not as small as the Hope and Anchor.
Right,
that's really cozy, but it was good. There was a good crowd. Oh, man, it was amazing. It was really, really great. And we've got another one on there because Plague UK is playing at our gig next week, and
wicked.
they played last night. And
Okay, we'll play a bit of them in a second if that's all right.
okay, man.
So if I can, I'm going to plug. I've got an interview coming out tomorrow on the Chat and Tracks channel. And I spoke because it's all independent. This is why I've saved this interview for this bit. His name's Simon Williams, and he runs Fierce Panda Records. They signed Coldplay to their first record deal, Keen, and they're working with Ash at the minute as well. When you go through their label, they've got the Polyphonic Spree, who I'm a huge fan of as well. And it's just a massive list of who's who on their record label. And we were talking about when they signed Coldplay to the first deal, and then eventually they signed to Polydor. So I just wanted to play you a quick minute bit of that interview.
Cool.
It's coming out tomorrow about 8 a.m. So if you go into the Chat and Tracks YouTube channel, it'll be on there. You can find it. Anyway, I'll just give you a quick blast of this. You signed Coldplay, and you released a single. Was it Brother and Sister you released?
Brothers and Sisters EP, yeah.
Yeah, and like they signed eventually to Parlophone, but they sort of broke away in a really nice way, in a degree. That was a really nice thing in the book.
I mean, they were absolute sweethearts. They were lovely to deal with. We had 6 months with them, and in the end, as I say, there wasn't, everyone turned up to see them at the second Bull and Gate gig. The entire music community was there, but people were still a bit, I think by that point, the band decided it was either going to be Fierce Panda or Parlophone. And we had backing from Mushroom at the time. So we had the money and we had the team. And in the end, they went for Parlophone. And to be honest, in 1999, I'd have signed to Parlophone. They were absolutely brilliant. They were with Supergrass, Manson, Radiohead, plus access to all the Beatles, Queen, Cliff Richard records. I don't know. I mean, we can go on and on.
He's an amazing guy, and he's like incredibly humble, and his book's fantastic. It's just his book's really interesting because there was a suicide attempt earlier, like a few years ago, and the book follows the journey of the suicide attempt up to the record label. He was a journalist for, I think it was Melody Maker for many years. He was on XFM, if you remember the radio station. He was on there for years as well.
Yeah.
And then obviously at the same time he was running Fierce Panda. So it's just a really interesting sort of dichotomy of what the stuff he was doing. But the idea was, to cut the long story short, that I'm not giving anything away because it's like a 40-minute interview, and it was fascinating to hear his journey of how these things accidentally happened. But it just came down to the fact that he thought if he excuse me, if he sort of killed himself, then there'd be a massive charity gig and they can give the money to his family.
Holy crap, mate.
Yeah, and resurrect the label. And that's pretty much the emphasis behind what was going on in his mind at the time. And but it was he's a really, really nice guy, and he's amazing. And like Glyn says there, that deal's a no-brainer. It would be, wouldn't it, to sign to Polydor? You can have the biggest label in the world or an independent. And he's just a really, really nice guy, and the interview was great. It's really interesting. If you get a chance, check it out because it's really good. His book's very good. It's called Pandemonium: How Not to Run a Record Label as well. And there's a lot of sort of it's one of those things where I was interviewing and I said to him, it took so long to get through your book because I was reading it, and then you'd hear a name of a band and you think, I've not heard them in 30 years. Then you go on YouTube, find the band, watch the video. Oh, I remember them. Then you read like a chapter. Oh, and then the Farm Boys. Oh, I know the Farm Boys. Back on YouTube, finding that video. So it took ages to get through the book, but it's an amazing book, and it's a double-edged book really, and interview, because we treated it as the same. That sorry, that's my watch. Because people that are having trouble could read this book and realize that there's light at the end of the tunnel, and there's actually a positive outcome if you just hang in there and talk to people. You know, one of the biggest things in the book and the interview was that he just didn't talk to anyone about how he felt. And if he did that, things would have been different. But yeah, again, if he hadn't done that, you wouldn't have had the book. So
Yeah.
it's a kind of, you know, it's a double-edged sword. But yeah, that interview, I just wanted to plug that one because that's coming out tomorrow at 8 in the morning. And he's such a nice guy. It's brilliant.
Yeah, that's great. You know, I understand what you mean about the book because I do the same thing, and I'm sure everyone does. You know, it's like, oh, even with interviews and stuff, you're like, oh my God, no, I don't know this person, and then you just delve into that whole thing, and it just makes it a more immersive experience. You know.
Does, yeah, and it's fantastic. They're working with Ash at the minute, the record label, and they're doing a lot of it, and they've got some great stuff coming out. Fierce Panda, get a chance, have a Google and check them out, and check out the records they got because they're amazing. So, should we talk about Sunday this time next week? We're going to be in the Hope and Anchor. Hopefully, it's not going to be cold. That's the thing I'm worried about. The weather's going to turn, but we should have a lovely firework backdrop because it happens to be bonfire night as well. So
yeah, but you know what? We're going to have fireworks in the basement. It's going to be great. No matter what the weather, it's going to be a fantastic night, mate.
Fantastic.
I cannot wait. I've seen all the bands now. So like I said, I know that they're top notch and it's going to be a lot of fun no matter what. And last night when I went to the Albert in Brighton, it just made me feel like, oh, man, you know, independent music is so important to people. You know, these people were there. They only listen to independent music. They go to the shows, they buy their CDs, they buy their albums, and it's just great. And the way they were talking to me is like, thank you so much for, you know, doing this, which is it's great. You know, I've been doing this in a bubble for 2-3 years, you know, and I've been to a few shows, but not a lot. But because I've been doing the interviews on YouTube, it's just blowing up. You know, people saying, "Oh my God, why haven't people done this before?"
Yeah,
you know,
that's why you got copyright it.
Yeah, well,
well, I mean,
copyright what? Can I?
I mean, it just makes it real, doesn't it? That, like you say, you're sitting in a bubble. Like when you're doing stuff like we're doing, you end up sitting in a room all day by yourself, pretty much. Yeah. And then when you put a gig on, you go into these bands. It actually gives it a bit of weight to what's happening, doesn't it? It actually gives it a bit of gravitas of what's going on. Also, the mission behind it is extremely important. I don't think we explain what it's for, really.
All right. Well, the reason we're doing this is for Musicians Defend Ukraine Charity Foundation, which is something that's close to my heart. We've done shows on the Unknown Sounds radio show for a while about this. We're getting donations, and it's basically a Ukraine-based foundation, charity foundation that gives aid to people, musicians who are fighting on the front end. You know, fighting on the front line who don't have the necessary equipment. You know, they don't have the boots, they don't have the safety equipment, they really don't have much. So we are helping them to help themselves, which is fantastic. And it's fantastic because on the show, on Unknown Sounds, we've played a lot of musicians that have been helped by this particular foundation. So it is really, it's dear to my heart. So thank you for doing all this. You know, it's great. It's amazing to me.
It's just a shame that we were sort of gearing towards this one for this war, and another one started in the meantime.
Well, that's the thing. Well, you know what though? Recently I had an interview with a reporter from the Islington Tribune, which there is there's an article about it in that, and I told her the same thing. You know, that freaking Vladimir Putin, that war criminal, is loving what's happening in Gaza right now because it's taking the focus off of the Ukraine. But we know what's happening in Ukraine. We're not taking our focus off of you guys. We're going to stick with you until the end. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
Of course we are. Of course we are.
Okay. Why don't we play a bit of music? What about Plague UK? Do you want to play them?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So yet again, it was from your phone from last night, was it?
From last night, yep. And these guys are going to be playing next Sunday. Plague UK.
Looking on the lonely carriage in the eyes to the stare of the house. I don't want to miss you, want? So what do you want now? All I want is full of dreams. Since I shot through the fight, all the pressing and the stonebreakers, all the ones and zeros, they're not really heroes. So what do you want now? So what do you want? So what do you want now? All I want is full of dreams. So what do you want now? So what do you want? So what do you want now? All I want is full of dreams. Go back in a lonely carriage, broken down to my new back.
Wow, yeah, I didn't expect it to end so quick. Yeah, yeah. Like this is a bit of a mod revival. I'm getting XTC vibes.
Definitely. XTC, Paul Weller. Yeah.
Like Bruce Foxton, very similar to that sort of sounding voice, isn't it,
really,
as well?
Really great. And Simon, he's an amazing guy. You know, he really takes himself seriously with his music, and the lyrics are amazing, and the sound, that bass he plays is like, it's like a bass and a rhythm guitar at the same time. You know, it's just fantastic.
Like Lemmy from Motorhead, he used to strum it, didn't he, like a guitar?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
I saw Motorhead once, and they really did take my head off. Motorhead, they were just amazing.
You saw him?
Yeah, I saw Motorhead.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
it was an amazing gig. I can't remember, Neil, I can't remember if you were there or not. Or G, you might have been there as well. But it was Black Sabbath, Thunder, Faith No More, Soundgarden, and Motorhead. Did I say Thunder?
Wow, what a gig!
Yeah, and it was all on one day. And I think G or Neil was there. One of the two of them was there. Anyway. But yeah, it was really, really good, and it was excellent. Yeah, and they come out and they did "We Are the Road Crew" and that sort of stuff. And Lemmy's just like, it's just his bass noise. It was great. Okay, so obviously we wasn't intending to come on live this long. We were going to test something, but we ended up being a bit long. Should we play one more artist and then we'll say goodbye after? Shall we?
Nah, look, you know what? Let's play one more artist and we'll talk some more.
Oh, you want to talk some more? Okay, that's fine.
I don't mind. Do you?
No, that's fine. That's fine. What do you want to talk? Oh, I'll tell you what we'll talk about. Actually, what? Okay, we'll save Dirt Royale for a little bit. Let's talk about Halloween music.
Oh,
like we're saying off air. What do you think is the best Halloween track? And this is to everyone watching as well. I'm throwing this out to all of you. What is the best Halloween song of all time?
wow.
It depends how you want to look at it as well. You can look at it as like a theme tune to a movie. You can look at it as a commercial track that's been in the charts, or you can look at it as a loosely based thing that's got a title like Monster in it, or Sky, or I don't know, Clouds, or something like that. So, what would be the one for you that you think would be the one?
Well, for me, because I'm quite old and I grew up with this stuff, so I love Monster Mash.
Nice, yeah.
Was it who sang that? Boris?
Is it Boris Cricker and the Crypt Kicker 5?
Crypt Kicker 5, that's right, yeah.
So yeah,
I was working in my lab late the night. Yeah, it's fantastic.
I heard another song of his as well. I think it was something to do with a mummy, and it was very similar. It was all that sort of talking, like burning and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, cashing in.
It was all that. Yeah, it was very similar. So,
what about yours, mate?
I'm going. I think I'm going Ghostbusters.
Really?
Only because it can be. You can play it in an 80s party. You can play it on Halloween, and you can play it anytime you want, and it sounds amazing. And
how's it go?
Does it go?
Come on.
I don't know if we sing it though. Will we get smashed with copyright? It might block it on the YouTube.
No, if you give us like 2 notes, it'll be all right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
There you go. So, yes, I think I'm going to go Ghostbusters. I think that's an amazing. Oh, hang on then. Thinking about it. What about for something? Right. Okay. I'm going to talk about song context now. So, what about Where the Wild Roses Grow, which is Nick Cave and Kylie Minogue. So, do you know that song, Pete, at all?
No, I don't.
So, it's about a guy that falls in love with a woman, and he takes her down to the river, and he picks her some flowers. Then he kills her with a brick. Right? No, hear me out. Right? So he kills her with a brick because he loves her so much that like no one else could have her.
Right. He wants to keep that moment. It's like a Quentin Tarantino film.
Yeah, and it's that sort of Nick Cave, and I shot her in my hand, and it's actually, and Kylie, if you took the pop stuff off of Kylie, because this went through for a little dark period, as it were, like a Madonna Vogue period, it was actually a really good song, and so I think that if it's context, it'll be that one. If it's an all rounder, I think I'll go for Ghostbusters. Yeah.
What about Delilah though? Isn't that the same thing?
Similar, but it's not a Halloween song. Oh, Cabello. I take it is that Maniac you're talking about, Neil? She's a maniac. That's that'd be another Halloween song that's really, really good. But I think I'd go for those two. Like one's pop. I'll have one for pop and a chart, one for lyrical context. I'll have that as well. Oh, hello, Bindi. Bindi's in the house as well. Bindi says Thriller all the way. Good for you.
Yeah, well, of course it's Thriller. Yeah.
Hello, sweetie. How are you, sweet? You're right.
Hi, Bindi. Love you, Bindi.
We love her. She's awesome.
She's fantastic. She's great.
She's always got sweets as well. So anyone that carries a lot of sweets is spread away. Dawn Saxon. Oh, wow.
Outhouse. Bellicosi's dead. Yes. Amazing song. Yes. Do you know it?
I think I've heard it, but I couldn't tell you where it goes. I think I've heard it.
Well, I have the CD with Bela Lugosi's face on the CD. It's great.
Neil is saying it's the one from Lost Boys. So is that the guy with the microphone, Neil? You know, the big greased up guy. I still believe in the dark. That one. I think it's that one. He's amazing. Apparently, he was Tina Turner's saxophone player, and they just roped him in to do the film.
Really?
And then he's become like a cult legend that's sort of just got absolutely stuck with it all. But yeah, I love it. I was watching like things about musicals the other day. Would you class Rocky Horror Picture Show as a musical thing?
Of course.
Like Halloween
of course
show?
It is a musical. It's got music in it. You know,
right, okay.
It's set. You know, you talk music, talk music. It's a musical.
Okay.
It's not a rock opera.
Because I mean, technically, they're space aliens. So is it not a sci-fi movie rather than a horror movie?
Yes, it's a sci-fi musical.
All right, so it's a
sci-fi. I love Rocky Horror. When I was young, we used to go see it every week. I think I probably saw it about 250 times.
Wow.
I loved it, mate. I loved it.
Did you ever see?
I can tell you some stories about leaving the show, but I can't tell you on here because it's illegal. But we went up to the Man Ray Cinema in Belmar, New Jersey. We drive up there for the midnight showing. It was fantastic. People would dress up. I never did, but I always looked like Rocky anyway. You know what I mean? But it was great. It was a fantastic show. We always loved it.
Hey, says Pete, I'm surprised I mentioned the Goo Goo Dolls. Did they do? Was it Smash? Was that their song? Was it the one that was on the Wednesday TV show? Is that the Goo Goo Dolls?
I'm not really sure. I'm not familiar with the Goo Goo Dolls.
Maybe they are, yeah. But have you ever seen Phantom of Paradise? Have you ever seen that one as well? So that came out a year before Rocky Horror, and that's really weird. But that's sort of a horror musical as well. It's about a guy that writes songs, and then he gets put in it's really hard to describe. Daft Punk were hugely influenced by this movie. They said it's their favorite film. So this guy's a songwriter, and there's a club opening up, and a guy that runs the club, he tries to sell the songs to him, and he basically steals them to a degree, and then his head crushed in a record press. And it's Brian De Palma as well. It's Brian De Palma. I know it sounds bonkers. It's a brilliant Brian De Palma film. And then he loses his voice, and then he has this machine and he talks like this, and that's a musical as well. But it didn't do as well as Rocky Horror, but it's just as good. Like it's an amazing film.
I am going to have to definitely look that up because it sounds great.
And Paul Williams wrote the music for it. And is in the film. Yeah. So people that don't know Paul Williams, he was Little Enos in Smokey and the Bandit. That's who he was.
Is he the short guy with the blonde hair?
Yeah, and the mustache.
Yeah.
And he goes, "I'd love to kick his butt just once." Yeah. So that's got a thumbs up somewhere. So he's Little Enos, but he wrote the music for Bugsy Malone as well. That was his other one. He did that. And then Bugsy Malone, the musical.
Oh no, I don't know that.
And then he was on Daft Punk's last album as well because they were a huge fan of him. And
Wow.
so it's brilliant, and he wrote all the music, and it's incredible. Yeah, he's a great artist in general, and then he wrote the music. But that's I think more of a horror based Halloween film than Rocky. I think if you watched it and could compare the two, I think that would be the one that would be. Here we go.
Yeah. Well, Rocky Horror isn't just for Halloween. It's a fantastic film. It's amazing. It really is, though. If you look at Tim Curry's performance, it's award-winning. I think it's amazing.
Yeah. Did you ever see Shock Treatment? The second.
I have, yes. Should we talk about something else?
I've never seen it. Is it any good?
No, it's just they're just trying to,
Cash cow it, were they?
yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't very good. Rocky Horror, though, is lovely.
Okay. All right. I need to have some dinner soon. So should we play one more track and then we'll say goodbye after?
All right, let's play one more track and then we'll talk after.
So we'll have, again, this is from your phone and this is going to be Dirt Royale. I won't get
Yeah, these guys are not playing at our show, but I love these guys. We played them on Unknown Sounds. They're fantastic. It's the first time I met Charlie. He's the bass player. They're an incredible band. Let's have a listen to their song.
Okay.
I can't afford same stand, begin frustration, be the voice of a generation he's never even seen. Read about it on my screen. Wanna be the people's poet, spitty words they don't know is that you are a fake. Say these things for the sake and I know that I'm not comfortable, and I lose my mind. To find where I can, where I can, gotta lose my way, gotta lose because you never had a choice. Now I can't afford that. Please don't for you frustration, not the voice of a generation, and it must all be so hard when stuff left tight.
Wow. I wish you told me that stopping. I just get into it. It stops.
Who knows? I don't know. They're such a great band.
Yeah. It's really cool. It's got sort of punk pop influences, isn't it? You can hear it.
Kind of like Green Day. Brian said it was like Green Day, and I agree with him. Brian from Unorthodox. But I love how they share the vocals.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Because that big guy playing the guitar with the bald head and the beard has this high voice, which is great. And with Charlie, it's the dichotomy is amazing. It's really, really good.
Fantastic. So if you want to check out some of those bands, get your tickets there, right there. If not, go online and find it. And then we're going to come back on Thursday. We're going to do another live stream Thursday night. And we're going to
do it. Hopefully it's still in the
it's in the pipeline. So we're going to tell people what we're up to. We're going to go to London in the daytime, aren't we? And we're going to do some flyering. And then at the end of it, we're going to come back, and then we're going to try and do some a live show after that as well, is what we're going to try and do. So we're going to have a busy one on Thursday. So the idea is flying all day, come back, do a live show, interview some of the bands that are going to be playing on the Sunday. Like I say, get your tickets there. Because we'd love to see you. If not, hopefully we'll see you Thursday. We're not sure what time we're going to be doing it, but I'll take it. We'll put out a post or something like that, and then we shall let people know. So
definitely, mate. It's going to be a great night, no matter what. Just
it's going to be
come and
amazing.
join us and do your little thing and get into the show.
Do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight. Anyway, we shall see you on Thursday. We'll see you all soon. Ta-da.
Fantastic.